Good morning. Welcome to the Premium Public Video Forecast discussion for Friday, November 17th, 2023. Well, we have some interesting weather to discuss and also going over some model guidance. I know that there is a certain solution from the GFS. It is that time of year that the GFS produces some, let's say, social media worthy posting. But is it based in reality? We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But for right now, we have warm air invading the region. We have some areas of low clouds and fog, and we have temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 30s over the far northern interior. Notice as that warm air surging northward in the Poconos, temperatures are rising rather quickly into the upper 40s to mid 50s. Again, you can see the impact on elevations here, where if you get some cold air trapped in the valleys, you're around 32 in Hazleton, and around 39 in around Scranton, and Wilkes-Barre. But as that warm air is invading, you start to see temperatures rising rapidly and basically flushing out all of this chilly air. And along the coast, temperatures range from the mid to upper 40s and then jumping up into the upper 50s around Wildwood. So you can see how that warm air transport is pushing northward around New York City Metro, lower to mid 50s. But again, in some of your valley areas, you have these mid to upper 30s. So this cold air being trapped leads to an inversion. So you have all this warm air in the mid levels, right? Uh, Driving northward, pretty good warm air transport too, getting 850 millibar temperatures around 10 degrees Celsius. Combine that with these chillier pockets of air, it creates locally dense fog, and that's what we're seeing many locations in the valleys and around Connecticut. You had some locations below a mile in visibility. The good news is that the warm air is going to win out, and this fog is going to give way. The bad news is that then rain starts to invade by this evening. But overall, it should be a pretty nice day. Although with the trough approaching here, we will see increasing cloud cover throughout the day as this cold front approaches, with some heavy rainfall. Now, this cold front and the showers associated with it is actually going to lose some punch. And the reason why is it's going to be interacting with this trough right here. This feature right here is with the subtropical jet stream. So you can see the polar jet stream and the subtropical jet stream. Right now, the timing of these two features is off by just a little bit. And as a result, that's why we're not seeing a phased, powerful coastal storm along the mid-Atlantic coast, but instead, this feature starts to lift northward and this feature kicks it out. It doesn't really start to interact until it gets to about the Gulf of Maine. And then by that point, no impact for us, but certainly increases the potential for cold air transport for this weekend, making for a chilly weekend and maybe even a few widely scattered snow flurries pushing into the Poconos and Catskills. But in the meantime, as this cold front approaches, we will see increasing cloud cover throughout the day. You can start to see that cloud cover pushing towards our region. And here is our disturbance here to the north of the Bahamas. Now, this feature here is a potential tropical cyclone, okay, a PTC 22. PTC 22 basically is the potential is there for a tropical low to develop, but it's not, because there's going to be far too much vertical wind shear to deal with in this scenario. So this is going to get entrained into this feature. This feature is going to lift northward, interact with this feature, which is the cold front and the polar shortwave. And the combination of these two features will eventually produce a pretty impressive storm out here in the Atlantic, but a little bit too late for us because the timing is off by just a little bit. Now, that's going to be a theme that we're going to be dealing with a lot as we move forward through the rest of this month and into the winter. We're going to be talking a lot about timing, blocking, interaction of short waves. And so I think this morning is a good time to go over an example of why you don't jump the gun on some model guidance. I give you the GFS from 06Z. I've already seen a ton of people posting this solution because why? Snow. Look at the snow. Look at this. It's going to be great. Click on my picture. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So why would I, in this video, be so skeptical of this solution? Well, it's probably because instead of just going straight to the surface and then sharing this image, what I did is I went and took a look at 500 millibars. You see, this is where we start to study the interaction of short waves. Remember how I said it's kind of important? It's going to be an important theme as we move on through the fall and winter. Well, here's a great example of a short wave in the subtropical jet stream and polar jet stream interacting. In this solution, it produces a stronger result with the subtropical shortwave and makes it the primary shortwave. And so this feature up here remains separated, and this feature basically rapidly intensifies. And because of this rapid intensification, it cools the atmosphere, creates an environment where, yeah, it could definitely support snow. And it would be a very impressive storm for portions of New England, maybe even portions of, say, Connecticut, northern New Jersey, so on and so forth. So why would I be very skeptical of this solution? Well, for one, if you just go back 6 hours to the 0Z guidance, it basically is nothing like this at all. In fact, the polar shortwave is stronger, is the dominant shortwave, and the subtropical shortwave basically gets entrained into this large upper level low. Now, you might say, well, Stephen, that's just the 0Z GFS. Yes, it is. But it's also the same thing being shown on the 0Z European. Not exact copy, you wouldn't expect the same copy, but the same theme. You see, that's what's important here. The theme is the same. The polar shortwave is dominant. The subtropical shortwave in this scenario is the shortwave that gets entrained. This is shown on the 0Z GFS, the European guidance, the Canadian guidance, the ensembles guidance. So when you have all the guidance basically going in that direction, and then you have one solution that does this, well, you stay away from that one solution because it doesn't have any support. And by the way, it also doesn't have the best reasoning in terms of the way that this pattern is evolving. As we've talked about, the tropical convection, the evolution going on with the polar vortex, the stretching of the polar vortex, all that stuff. So when you take and you look at the whole picture and you just don't look at surface map says snow, but instead you say, hey, look at this whole pattern and understanding the timing involved in it, you quickly realize that this solution, this lone solution, is unrealistic. And so, as a meteorologist, normally you would never see this solution. I would just throw it out because I understand what this means in terms of the scientific law and what we know about meteorology. Now, what would change this solution? Well, if we gained more observations, that would suggest that this feature here was much stronger than the shortwave associated with the polar vortex, then you could have an argument there. But there is literally no data to support that at this time, nor do I expect it to be because, well, basically, the polar vortex is one mean beast, and a lobe of this is going to be dropping through our neck of the woods, and that's what's going to make it rather chilly. So now that I explained that and why you're likely not to see me posting all sorts of snow maps from the GFS, let's talk about what really is going to be the threat here as we move forward. At least not from the 060 GFS, which by the way, I rarely, if ever, use because sometimes it can produce some rather funky solutions, as we've seen here. So for today, again, our cold front moves through. Again, our timing is off, so our short waves don't interact. So this remains out in the Atlantic. This kicks through our neck of the woods, producing some scattered showers for us. I'm not expecting heavy rainfall. And then we have our cold air transport setting up for the weekend. Again, the brunt of it's going to be focused over New England and the Great Lakes, but still producing some chillier conditions for our area for this weekend. Pretty much near normal, nothing that is incredibly unusual for this time of year. Then we have a nice break for really the rest of the weekend. Once we get through the showers early tomorrow morning, it's going to be a nice weekend. Scattered cloud cover, sure, a bit chilly, but like I said, it is November. So that's going to continue on to Monday. And then as we head into our short week, as we get ready for Thanksgiving, we have our storm approaching. Again, this is what we were talking about earlier. Here is our polar shortwave right here, a very dominant, powerful shortwave. Here's a shortwave here in the subtropical jet stream. Not necessarily a weak one, but this one is far stronger. So this, as this interacts and entrains and phases, as the timing for this is just right, this sets up strong lifting for our neck of the woods. And we're going to have to watch out initially. See this cold air right here initially? This could lead to a little bit of mix of some snow, sleet, and rain for the higher elevations on Tuesday evening as the warm air invades. I'm not expecting much in the way of any type of accumulation in terms of ice and snow because the surface temperatures are going to be rising steadily. But just be aware, especially for elevations above 1,500 feet, of some slick road conditions. So that's going to be lifting on through. And on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, we're going to be dealing with some very heavy rainfall. And the other concern here, as this is approaching, is that we're also going to be dealing with some strong winds. Let me show you real quick the upper level winds here. You can see here the upper level winds, by the time we get to Tuesday night into Wednesday, start to support some strong divergence and diffluence. We have a pretty good jet streak here also being interacted with the polar and subtropical jet streams at this time period. We've seen that 500 millibars, especially at 850 millibars. So the concern here with some of these winds is that they can mix down to the surface. You have enough of mixing factors to support wind gusts over 20 miles per hour. So we're going to have to really watch this on Tuesday night for some rather nasty conditions setting up. The good news is that this blows through very quickly. Not the best word, but there we go. Driving out of the region, this is going to move very quickly. So we have this heavy rain come in, it blasts through and leaves. But again, the concern here is that these strong winds, when it does come through, could lead to some power outages. We'll have to watch that very carefully. And also, while this is approaching, you see this feature right here? This is strong warm air transport. And the idea here is that you're going to have your primary lobe back here, where our Arctic air, a lobe of Arctic air, drives through. You have your cold front here, you have a warm front here, and a cold front here. And so that's called a triple point right around the Philadelphia metro. So there's a chance here with some of this vertical wind shear, you get a little bit of instability. We could get some elevated thunderstorms here as well that could really throw some very interesting weather right at us before Thanksgiving. The good news is that after that, the storm blows through. We remain with below normal heights and chilly conditions for the Thanksgiving time period. So let's dive into the rest of this forecast. For today, high pressure exits. Look for the potential for scattered showers starting to approach the region. But for the most part for today, we'll look for increasing cloud cover. Look for high temperatures to range from the upper 50s to lower 60s over the northern interior, lower to mid 60s along the coast, and mid 60s to lower 70s in the Delaware River Valley. If we get enough mixing, definitely could see temperatures touching 70, 71 degrees around, let's say, southwestern New Jersey. So certainly a very warm day. Don't get used to it, though. That cold front moves through tonight into tomorrow with scattered showers. Again, it's going to lose a bit of a punch as this low pressure system becomes a dominant feature in this whole game here that is evolving for tomorrow. So I like the idea of scattered showers with temperatures falling into the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to mid 40s in your suburbs, and upper 40s to lower 50s along the coast. Temperatures won't be moving all that much for the rest of the day on tomorrow, with scattered cloud cover expected with clearing skies and temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 40s over the northern interior and upper 40s to lower 50s along the coast. On Sunday, high pressure will be in control. Again, watch out for a few flurries, maybe a little bit of rain snow mix in the Poconos and Catskills that could sneak on through. Temperatures on Sunday will range from the upper 20s to lower 30s over the northern interior, lower to mid 30s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 40s over the northern interior, lower to mid 50s along the coast. On Monday, high pressure will pass right over the region with clear skies, light and variable winds. Temperatures as a result will plummet in the morning into the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, lower to mid 30s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the upper 30s to lower 40s over the interior, mid to upper 40s along the coast. Then we get to Tuesday. High pressure begins to depart. Look for increasing cloud cover through the day, with showers developing towards the afternoon hours, becoming widespread towards evening. There will be a threat for a little bit of snow, sleet, and rain mixing in over the higher elevations at the initial start, but that should quickly go over to rain. Look for temperatures to range from the upper 20s to lower 30s over the northern interior, mid to upper 30s along the coast. High temperatures will range from, and this is most likely going to be towards the evening as that warm air is surging northward, will range from the lower to mid 50s over the northern interior, upper 50s to lower 60s along the coast. We could see spiking of mid 60s here in southern New Jersey, depending on the location of that warm front. On Wednesday morning, the cold front moves through with waves of moderate to heavy rainfall. Temperatures will fall into the upper 30s throughout the region as that cold air tries to invade through. So Wednesday morning looks like a bit of a rough time period with periods of heavy rainfall. But again, this moves quickly. And so by the afternoon, we'll start to see clearing skies from west to east with windy conditions. Look for high temperatures to range from the upper 40s to lower 50s throughout the region. Now, again, the location of the warm front is going to be really important here on Wednesday morning. If that warm front is, let's say, around Philadelphia, cutting through central New Jersey, do not be surprised on Wednesday morning if you have temperatures in the lower 60s. And then after that, temperatures just fall through the 50s, 40s, and 30s for the rest of the day as cold air invades. The good news on Thanksgiving, it's going to be quiet. Sky cloud cover are expected. We could see a few flurries pushing into the Poconos and Catskills via some of this lake effect snow off of Lake Ontario and Lake Erie. Other than that, we'll see sky cloud cover on Turkey Day with low temperatures in the upper 20s to lower 30s and high temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. So you will need a pretty good jacket if you decide to go out to the parade for Thanksgiving, New York, Philadelphia, and whatnot. On Friday, high pressure will be in control. Sky cloud cover is expected, although a bit chilly, with low temperatures in the lower to mid 20s over the interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast, and high temperatures in the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. That is your premium public video forecast discussion for today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And as always, stay safe out there.